Hey everyone, welcome back to Pick Six, the NFL betting preview show out of the Phil Football Podcast. My name is Ollie and I'm joined by my co-host Liam as always. Liam, how are we getting you back to winning ways this week?
With the picks I'm about to run through, mate. It's been a tough season, mate. It has. It's been a tough season. 10 weeks in. It's, it's been tough, mate.
It's been unpredictable, hasn't it? I think it's been one of the most unpredictable seasons certainly we've had in a long time because there's just a lot of bad teams. Like they'll win one
Yeah,
week and they'll be terrible the next week. So it's been hard to call. But mate, by all means, kick us off with your first pick.
I'm going to take your boys, mate. Broncos on the money line, home to the Falcons. We've got a sneaky good offensive line there in Denver against probably a bottom five pass rush in Falcons. I have already said about them a few weeks ago when I picked the Seahawks over them. I believe that was the game where I thought in the air they could just take advantage. Seahawks expect the same here from the Broncos. Yeah, give them the advantage in the trenches. I feel like they can put some pressure on Kirk Cousins, make him throw a few rough balls. No Darnell Mooney either. I think that's pretty big for them. He's their sort of main deep threat. He's the guy who gets behind the secondary. Yeah, like the Broncos here, money line have taken 10 to 13.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney's the kind of guy who would not randomly have a big game because he's actually been pretty good this year, but wide receiver twos have done pretty well against Denver this year. So good to hear that he is out. Okay, I'll kick it off with the Packers minus 5.5. I can't believe this is under a touchdown, really. The Bears have pretty much capitulated in the last few weeks. And even though they are very good at home, and this game is at Soldier Field, the Packers have won and covered the last five at Soldier Field. Rodgers has fully passed on the ownership to Jordan Love. Packers coming off a bye week, fully refreshed. Bears are only averaging 9 points per game in their last three. Their only creditable win this year is really against the Rams. The rest are against two-win teams, and they've just been pathetic in the rest of them. So yeah, I'd probably play this line up to about seven, but Packers minus the 5.5 for me.
Yeah, that was very nearly on my card. Player of the week, I will go with the Steelers, taking plus 3.5 points. It's 5 to 6. I believe it's still at three now. Yeah, but that's even money, so that may move closer to kickoff time. But I've just taken it now. It's AFC North football. Obviously, they're hosting the Ravens. The game is in Pittsburgh. That's all important for me. Wild stat of this one: since Harbaugh, John is the
Yep.
Ravens one.
Yep.
Since he's been the coach since 2008, in this matchup, favourites of more than 3 points are 2-18-3 against the spread. Harbaugh himself is 0-10-2, so obviously only time that number's been covered is by the Steelers. I just think it's just one of those games. These games are just always decided by a field goal, so I will take the points and the hook.
Very nice. I haven't actually decided on my player of the week yet, so it probably won't be the Packers, but I'll have a think as I go through mine. That's a good point. Okay, next up for me, I'm taking the over in Jets versus the Colts. Obviously, the Jets do usually have a good defense, but since Robert Saleh left, the unit is bottom five, both on the ground and through the air. Um, I think this one is going to be a pretty close game. I think the Colts plus four, I was pretty close to doing, and they get Anthony Richardson starting, and I just don't really think anyone knows who gives the Colts the best chance of winning right now. People can say it's Flacco, but then he was terrible when he came back in recently. People say it's Richardson, but he's putting like all-time historically bad accuracy numbers up. There's just not really a sustainable way to keep the old Colts offense on the field with him. But yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion this one could get a little bit loose, a little bit silly. Jonathan Taylor runs the ball very well when Anthony Richardson's the quarterback. Think of the EPA per play as something like, or the EPA as five compared to minus 18 with Joe Flacco. And I don't think both teams scoring 20 plus is out the question here. So happy to take the overs. Was very close to taking the Colts plus the four, but Jets v Colts over 44 for me.
Very nice. I will go for an under. I've gone for our game on Sunday night. Bengals at Chargers. It's 48 is the total. Now, I just think that is way too many points for a Chargers game. They've not gone over 45 points yet this season. Obviously, the Bengals offense, Burrow and Chase have been incredible this year. But when it comes to the more sort of tougher, stingier defenses, named a few here, Giants, Browns, and Eagles. They've not sort of lit the world on fire, especially on the road as well. You can see a slight drop off from the incredible performance in Baltimore from the two of them, especially Burrow and Chase. Yeah, obviously our defense is awful, but Chargers like to run the ball. Yeah, I can see this one being a little bit closer and a little bit lower scoring. I don't have the number, but I don't believe the games on Sunday night have been going. We've not had too many overs in those games. So yeah, I'm going to go under 48 points.
Yeah, I saw a stat that I think the Chargers, the average combined points per game or something in the Chargers game is like 34, and in your games it's like 53. So it's either going to be like 21-17 or it's going to be 34-37. So
Yeah,
best of luck on the unders because there's probably about a 50% chance it will hit. Well, obviously there is because it's either under or over. Anyway, I'm taking a bit of a, I don't know if this is a risk or not. I'm taking another under. Oh no, sorry, I'm taking an under, not another under. That was a little spoiler for my next pick. Texans v Cowboys. These are two offenses recently that have stumbled a bit. Cowboys, due to losing, well, their quarterback and having to play Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. I don't know if he even had any packages the last time he played, but I seem to remember reading he might. And CJ Stroud, I don't think he's. Everyone seems to be making out that he's like been bad this year. He started off season like red hot and he was good, but he's not quite hit the same heights recently. Probably due to the absence of Nico Collins, but he gets him
yeah,
back this week. Um, but since week six of all quarterbacks with 140 plays, he is bottom five in EPA and rock bottom in completion percentage over expected, which means he is not completing a lot of his passes that he should be completing. So something's not quite right there. I can't see the Cowboys putting up more than 10, 14 points. The Texans defense isn't bad. Derek Stingley's obviously shut down corner. Um, and I think Joe Mixon's probably going to have a massive game. So I think the Texans will probably take quite a lot of time off the clock. They're probably going to get about 20 to 24 points. I think 24-14 would be about right in this kind of game. Um, so pretty comfortable taking under here. Also, fun fact, despite being from the same state, they this is only the seventh time they've played each other.
yeah. I was going to say I can't remember the last game they would have played against each other. The Texas Derby.
Mm.
Right, player props. What have I got here? Let's kick it off with probably the game of the week at 9:25. Bills host the Chiefs. I'm going Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's 20-21. I am expecting points to this game. I think the Chiefs will bounce back from a pretty poor offensive display last week against your Broncos. And I expect the Bills to be able to move the ball as well. Chiefs have only given up 3 rushing touchdowns all year. They don't let teams run the ball in the red zone. And because I think there's points, Josh Allen's going to have to throw it. So yeah, I'll dip in there for 2 passing touchdowns for Josh Allen. Be handy for the fantasy team as well.
Yep, we are playing each other. To be fair,
Oh, we are, yeah.
got off to an okay start last night. Had a B Rob touchdown, which I was not expecting. I thought he was going to get like 20 snaps, if that. So that was a nice surprise. But yeah, cool. I have got a pick in that game. I think you got to have a pick in that one. It sort of feels a bit
Yeah.
like the Rams Chiefs game from 2017
Yeah, I know what you mean.
when
Yeah.
when it was like 54-51 or whatever, and it was just absolute chaos. Um, but yeah, that's my next pick. Next up for me, I've got Kenneth Walker under 55.5 rushing yards. Um, he only had 32 in the reverse fixture between Seahawks and the Niners. And since week seven, the Seahawks have the worst rushing EPA per play of any team in the league at minus zero point 0.4. to put into context, the Raiders are closer to 22nd with minus zero point 0.3. So they are the worst by a mile. Walker has gone over this total in just two of his last five games. And the Seahawks, as we know, one of the most pass heavy offenses in the league. Geno has the most passing attempts per game. They just can't really find a way to get Kenneth Walker the ball consistently. So he might sort of catch fire and have 140 yards in this game, but the trends tell us that he's probably going to have another sort of quietish game. So under 55.5 feels pretty good to me. They're 6.5 point dogs against the 49ers defense that has been a top five rushing defense since week seven. And yeah, just don't think this is a pretty don't think it's a great spot for him, even though the line is pretty low. So Kenneth Walker under 55.5 rush yards.
Nice. Last two picks here. I've sort of played the numbers game. Just with the how the lines are, I've played them rather than sort of he's done this in so many games, he's done that in so many games. So I've gone first one. I've gone Alvin Kamara under 117.5 rushing and receiving yards. Very odd bet, I know, but I saw it and it didn't add up to me. It's 20-23. See, big win for the Saints last week. Emotional win with the special teams coach. I think they're going to come back to earth a little bit here, playing against a better defense here. But the real reason is Kamara's rush line is 72.5 and his receiving line is 39.5. Got the calculator out. That only makes 112. I'm getting five sort of over yards here. Just think it's a little bit inflated, so I will take the under.
Yep, smart. My play of the week is a little bit shocked. This is plus money considering how good he's been recently. I'm taking Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. I think I read this is the fifth or sixth time ever. This is two 8-win teams are playing each other in week 11 or by week 11. And like I said before, it's given me like Rams versus Chiefs vibes. I do think it's probably going to be a really good game. I'll probably have it on. Don't think the Sunday slate's that great, although Denver are playing later on, but we'll find a way to watch both. Um, yeah, he's had 40 targets the last 3 weeks, eight red zone targets in these games. He's only had two touchdowns all year, but two in the last 3 weeks. Mahomes is going to want to get the ball to his number one guy in the biggest game of the year. Like, let's be honest. So yeah, Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, 6-4. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, like that, mate. He's on my sheet to go in my bets on Sunday. Final pick, I'll go with another tight end. Brock Bowers, 50 plus receiving yards for him. It's 10-13. A bit of a punt due to the new offensive staff, but hoping they realise he is the best player they have on offense. Get him the ball. They're playing against the Dolphins, whose defense is, yeah, I mean, it's okay. They played well. See, 7 sacks, I believe. A couple of picks against the Rams on Monday. But I mean, short week for them, traveling cross country. Brock Bowers there, as I said, playing the number. It's his lowest line since week 8. Just in a buy low spot here. So yeah, over 50 yards for Brock Bowers.
That should be a breeze. That should be a breeze. Um, okay, I'll round it off with probably my biggest punt of the season, considering his form so far. I'm taking Nick Chubb's rushing overs. We've
Okay.
obviously not seen the best of Nick Chubb. There's 58.5, the line is. But he's had a bit of a baptism of fire since he's come back. He's had LA defense, LA Chargers defense, very good on the ground. Baltimore Ravens defense, very good on the ground. And Bengals, although the defense isn't great, you still top half in the league for rushing yards allowed. But this is a really, really good game for him to kick his season off. Saints are the third worst team in the league in EPA per play against the run, third worst in the league in success rate, and they allow the league sixth most rushing yards per game. And they're only favored by a point here, so it's going to be, it's pretty much a pick 'em. It could go either way. Um, the Browns just need to find a way to commit to the ground game. Obviously, it is fun watching Jameis just absolutely launch it every week, and it could go to anyone at all, either side of the ball. Um, but yeah, they should have a lot of success if they commit to the running game. And if Chubb can't get it done in this game, there's a little likelihood that he might be a little bit washed, but I don't want to go on record and say that just yet. So Nick Chubb over 58.5 rushing yards. My last pick. If you would like to go through yours again.
Yeah, kicked it off with Broncos money line, Steelers plus 3.5, and Bengals Chargers under 48 points. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Alvin Kamara under 117.5 rushing and receiving. And then Brock Bowers 50 plus receiving yards.
Very nice. I have got the Packers -5.5, Jets, Colts over 44, Texans, Cowboys under 42, Kenny Walker under 55.5 rushing yards. Player of the week is Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. And final pick, Nick Chubb over 58.5 rushing yards. TNF is another Steelers AFC. I don't know. I said another. I don't think there's one this week, but we've got Steelers versus Browns. Steelers are 3.5 point favorites, and the line is 41, the total.
I'm going to take the Browns here, plus 3.5. Again, AFC North game, Steelers coming off
Yeah.
Sunday's game against the Ravens, and they played a tough game over in Washington the week before. So I feel like their legs could be a bit jaded. Browns keep it within a field goal.
Yeah, I quite like the over here. 41 doesn't feel like a lot. Although I don't know. AFC North games obviously have they been high scoring? I know your Ravens Bengals games have, but I don't know.
Well,
I
the
know
Steelers
Steelers.
haven't played
Yeah,
it.
they haven't
Steelers
played
haven't
anyone, have
played
they?
any.
Yeah, no,
This
of
is their
course not.
first two.
Um,
Browns played the Ravens. I think that had a few. That was definitely in the 40s. I think the Browns won that one, didn't they? That was in the
yeah, it was
40s.
24,
Pretty
21
sure.
or something. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, because the week before Denver played them, and I thought, oh, here we go, but wasn't the case. Yeah, just give me the over here. Not really sure about spread. Yeah, I will take the over. And mate, thank you for joining me. Best of luck with the picks.
Yes. Let's hope to have a positive week.
Absolutely. Everyone else, thank you for listening and catch you in the next one.